All right, so we've got some fraction work to do. I know we've all been talking about this the entire school year, and I'm here to help you as best I can. So this is a poster I make and I show my students every year, and I'm going to teach from it very quickly to give you a brief overview of what fractions are. Okay, a fraction shows equal parts of a whole. All right, it's not necessarily a decimal point or some tiny little piece or a crumb. It has to be equal parts. All right, so when you're separating out a shape into parts, make sure that they are equal to make a fraction. When we look at a fraction, it usually looks like this. You have a numerator, a fraction bar, and a denominator. The numerator is the number of parts you counted. Sometimes the number of parts that are shaded. And the denominator are all of the equal pieces of the whole. So this is the number of parts you're talking about. This is the number of parts all together, whether they're shaded or not. And you put them over or under a fraction bar to create a fraction. Sometimes you'll hear us talk about what's called a unit fraction. And a unit fraction simply means that the numerator is always 1. It shows you what one part of the whole shape is. Okay, so examples would be 1/9, 1/4, or 1/4. We call this 1/2. It's not 1 second or 1/2. It's 1/2, 1/3, 1/5, 1/8, or 1/10. And there's many there can be. These are just some examples. But a unit fraction always has a numerator of 1. And when we talk about equal parts, I want to show you what that means. Here I've created some circles. For these different parts, you can see they're all equal. So the fraction for this would be, my numerator would be 1, 2, 3. I'm talking about these 3 shaded parts. And my denominator would be all of the parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my fraction would be 3/8. Okay? But on this side, you can see these are clearly unequal parts. This part is much smaller than this part. So I can't even make a fraction out of this because all of the parts must be equal.